I want to tell you a story about when I was a kid. Must have been like 1979 to 1981. And there's a lot of history. There's a lot of stuff that I can't miss, but I don't have enough time, so I have to break it down like really quick. But there was a time in our life, in my family, there was a lot of strange things happening in the home. And it was unexplained. It was cabinets opening and closing, um, doors opening and closing by themselves. It's creepy to like talk about it because I'm like here alone. But um, there was a time when my mom used to hang out with this lady, and her name was Santa. Well, her name wasn't Santa, but my mom called her Santa. And she was like from like Orange County or something. We lived in the greater East San Gabriel Valley area, um, about 20 minutes away from downtown LA. And in the city of Glendora. And so we used to live in that house. And, anyways, it was weird. Like, we didn't have a perfect childhood or nothing like that. My parents fought constantly. It was crazy back in those days. And things started happening. It was weird. Just doors opening, closing, cabinets opening, closing by themselves. Um, my mom would say like, "Oh, there's like this shadow, that's protecting me." Look, like I would see him sometimes, and I'm just like, my mom's like probably on drugs or something. But my mom was born in '34, so it was like whatever her past was. And then my dad was born in '40, so it's like he was just like whatever. Anyways, until me and my brother and my sisters and we saw things happen, and we were like, nah, she's not lying. We saw some stuff. I remember when her mother passed away, and my grandma, God rest her soul, um, it's probably like the early '80s, like 1981 or something like that. And my mom freaked out because she buried her mom. Of course, it's natural. And so then um, we get home, and it's a trip because there's like a sidewalk, and then there's a fence, and then there's a walkway, concrete walkway up to some concrete steps that puts you on the porch, and then you go into the house. You have to open up two doors, screen door and uh, the door that protects the house, I guess you could say. And I remember we came home, and she started tripping and crying for her mom and everything. And my dad was like, "Get outside! Like your mom's like going crazy." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So you ever see like a lamp like get knocked over and it has that flash of blue? So we saw that. So when we jammed out, we were outside the fence on the sidewalk, and I saw that blue, like if a lamp got busted. And I looked, and because we're looking, we're like, God, like mom was like going crazy. But we looked, and in the doorway, because we left the front door to the porch, out to the walkway, up to the, the fence, and onto the outside sidewalk. We were looking, and my dad was probably in there like trying to help calm her down or whatever. But this flash of blue, just so bright in that doorway, was so like so vivid. I saw my grandmother. I saw my grandmother in that doorway. It wasn't my mom. And maybe it's mass hysteria. Maybe because we had to bury my grandma. But I saw my grandmother. And I asked my sisters, I'm like, what did you see? And they're like, you saw grandma too, huh? I go, yep. I saw grandma too in the doorway. And they're like, I didn't even ask anybody. I asked my sister. I'm all, what did you see? She's like, I saw grandma. I'm like, I did too, without even saying a word to my sister. And so later on, my mom was like saying, like, grandma came to her because nobody told her that we saw her. I hope nobody told her, but anyways, I never said nothing to my mother. I don't know if my sister did or not, but anyways, I never said nothing. And she goes, your grandma came up to me and told me that, like, she told me, like, um, she wasn't supposed to die, in that um, it was like foul play. It was like I guess my grandma was trying to tell her, like, I wasn't supposed to die. Like she wasn't supposed to die. I guess apparently, whatever. I get it. It could be all delusional. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, but the thing is, it was what a coincidence that we saw that, and it was a trip. But then my mom always had like some stuff going on with witchcraft and shit with her friend Santa, because her friend Santa used to come over and take her out to witchcraft stuff, like the stores to buy this, to cast spells and stuff like that. Back in like the late 70s and early 80s. So like when my grandma died, I was just like, wow, what a trip. Anyways, come to find out, like my grandma had a will, and like now the will was changed, and the older siblings like got everything they want. So basically, my mom was supposed to have like her house or the back house, and then everybody in the family got what they wanted: the front and the back, across the street, whatever, the other house on the corner. And then my mom was left with like nada. So I was just like, because my grandma used to like keep like my mom in like almost like a favorite. She wanted to take care of the youngest. She wasn't trying to leave nothing to the oldest. But that's just my opinion. I can't prove it, and so my mom couldn't prove it. But there was like apparently like several different kind of wills, and so and I'm not talking shit about my family either, like all my second cousins and all that. But I think they kind of know because I'm the last of my mom's um, on the man side, on the male side. So um, everybody pretty much is gone. They're all dead now, except for a few, and that's a handful. It's not even a handful. But anyways, my mom went through all kinds of shit, like family and stuff. And every time my mom got in a fight with my dad, man, like the cupboards would like swing open and slam. And I can add more to that story too, because there's other stories. There's a lot more that's happened in that house, and it's like crazy. And my mom would be like, "That's my protector," because every time her and my dad would fight, crazy stuff happening on their own. But then she was doing witchcraft with her friends, so wouldn't doubt it. Anyways, that's my little story. Hope you enjoyed it. And I mean, feel free to like comment and ask questions because I'll try my best. I was only like 11 years old or something like that. I think like about 11, maybe 10 years old. And crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But I'm not gonna lie. I got to see my grandma right there in the doorway. No doubt about it. I saw her. I saw her face. I saw her body. I saw the way she used to have her hair. She was standing and she wasn't walking at the time when she died. She had developed gangrene in her feet. But I saw my grandma straight out. I saw her. And so did everybody else without even saying anything. So I don't doubt my grandma like uh, visited my mother when she was in the house going nuts. Oh, maybe it was mass hysteria. I don't know. It is what it is. But anyways, with that, I gave you like 12 minutes of like my time. Hope you appreciate the story. I wish there was a more dramatic edge to it, but by the way, the house we lived in was moved from a different location within the city, and it was a little bit more older than people believed in that general area because it was all like lemon and orange groves and stuff. So some people they couldn't afford to build their own homes. But if you already built your own home, you didn't have to live like somewhere on the outskirts or in the city that probably was going to be congested. You wanted something that was out of everybody's way. So, yeah. Yeah, I know I look like an idiot. It's all right, though. I ain't tripping. It's just part of my past when I was a kid. I'm all right, man. Fuck it. It is what it is. And I got more stories, so stay in tune, man, because I'm only giving you what I remember. That's all. And what I saw. Not gonna lie. There's no reason to lie. So, anyways, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the women out there that are moms. Um, I know we still got a week to go, but the thing is, who knows if I even last like 10 days, 5 days or whatever. So I'd like to push that out there. Okay? And to my ex mother in law, I love you too. You tell me you love me. I love you right back. Even if I'm not with your daughter anymore. So, um, with that, check me out next time. Okay? I'm out.